Hi, my name is Behruz Amuzgar. In this video, we're gonna go over calculation of closing costs for the purchase of a residential property in Ontario. In order to do this, there's two steps that you need to complete. Step number one, you wanna find out exactly what amounts you're paying to which parties on closing day. Once we add all of those up, then you wanna know how much exactly you're receiving from your bank in form of a mortgage. And once we deduct the second amount from the first one, you arrive at the number that you need in order to complete your closing. Let's talk about the first step. This is usually done in a document called Statement of Adjustments. You may say, well, it's pretty clear how to calculate how much I'm gonna have to pay the seller. That's the purchase price minus deposit. That's correct. However, you are not taking into account what is referred to as adjustments. By way of an example, let's say you are purchasing a property that's worth $600,000 and that on the day that you made your offer, you've paid a $50,000 deposit to the seller's brokerage. Now, of course, 600,000 minus 50 is 550,000, but let's say that the closing is taking place on September 12th and the seller has already paid the entire amount of realty taxes for the year. So let's say, for example, the realty taxes for the property are $29,3764 and the seller has paid the full amount. Obviously, you need to reimburse the seller for the period commencing on September 12th and ending on December 31st. In order to do this, we divide that amount by 365, and then once we arrive at the daily tax amount, we will multiply that by 255, which is the exact number of days from January 1st that the seller's been the owner of the property. We arrive at $2,046.72. In this case, this is the amount that the seller should have paid. However, they paid the full amount, which means that they paid an additional $890.92, which needs to be credited to them. The same adjustment also takes place when you are buying a condo, because condo fees are typically paid on the first day of the month for the entire month. Let's say condo fees in this case were for $599.66, and the closing is taking place on September 12th. However, on September 1st, the seller paid the full amount. So you will have to divide that amount by the number of days in the month to arrive at the daily fee for condo fees and multiply that by the number of days that the seller's been the owner, and you arrive at $219.88, which is the amount that they should have paid. However, they overpaid, of course, so you'll need to reimburse the seller for $379.78. After this calculation, we arrive at $551,270.70, which is the amount that you need to pay to the seller on closing. The next cost that you will need to take into account is the land transfer tax. For the exact calculation of land transfer tax, please watch another video that is dedicated to that topic. But for the purposes of our example, if the property is not in Toronto, the total amount of land transfer tax is $8,475. You will also have to pay registration fees. There are two registrations involved. One registration is for the registration of the transfer, which changes the ownership of the property, and another registration is for the registration of the charge, which registers the mortgage on the property. For each of these, you pay $75.27 for a total of $150.54. The next deduction or the next payment that you need to make is the title insurance fee. Title insurance is an insurance that guarantees good and marketable title on closing. And in simple words, it guarantees that there's no issues with your ownership of the property. And in case there are, under certain circumstances, title insurance covers that for you. In this case, let's assume that the title insurance fee is $340.20. Last but not least, you will have to pay your lawyer for the legal fees, and for the purposes of our example, let's assume that that is $12.43. We arrive at a number which is the total that you have to pay to complete the closing, and that is $561,479.44. And now that we know exactly how much you have to pay, we need to find out how much you're going to receive from your bank. Now, often a mistake that the purchasers make is that they assume that they're going to get the full 80% of the mortgage. So if your bank has told you that 80% of it is going to be covered by the bank, they don't always pay the full amount. So you need to ask your lawyer exactly how much the bank is advancing. Sometimes they pay the full amount, sometimes they have certain deductions. For the purposes of our example, let's assume that you are going to be receiving $473,590 from your bank. We deduct this amount from the previous amount, which was the total that you should have paid, which was $561,479.44, and we arrive at the number that you need to pay to your lawyer on closing, which is $87,889.44. So in summary, we've covered the calculation of closing costs on a real estate purchase. We've talked about two documents: statement of adjustments, which you can think of as an invoice that the seller gives to the purchaser to tell the purchaser exactly how much they need to pay on closing, and trust ledger, which you can think about as a snapshot of your lawyer's bank account, which pertains to your transaction. On the right-hand side, you have all the amounts and numbers that your lawyer receives in their account, which is the amount that they receive from your bank for the mortgage and the amount that they receive from you on closing day. And on the left-hand side of the trust ledger, you have all the various payments that your lawyer is going to make, which is the balance due on closing, amount that gets paid to the seller, your land transfer tax, your registration fee, your title insurance, and their legal fee. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I look forward to producing more educational videos for you.